Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Thursday, October 16th. It is 5:56 right now. We got market opening up in about 30 minutes. First entry for today is going to be right here at 6 o'clock. So I'm looking to take the 6 o'clock entry. It's going to be against momentum. It has a 72.22% overall win rate for a 1 to 2, one of my target entries. Win rate is 87.50% for buys, and it's won one out of the three recent Thursdays. So we'll see what happens here in a few. But good morning, guys. It looks like people are still making their way in. So this first entry is going to come up shortly in about a couple minutes here. Volatility is a little low, but we'll see what happens here in a few. So just a heads up, guys. So the hedge fund is officially reopened to the public, guys. I just got the email from the regulators yesterday that my hedge fund was approved. So at this point in time, I guess now I'm considered or I'm registered as a professional trader. And I can manage people's money. So you guys can kind of see over here. This is the NFA, which is the National Futures Association. You can see my name right here. This is my NFA ID. I'm registered now as a professional trader with the regulators that regulate the futures market. And yeah, Kodi Kai Capital right here. So basically, if you guys want me to trade for you, or if you want to invest with me or my strategies, you guys have the option to. So if you guys are interested in that, I am onboarding. I'm going to be very busy for the next couple of weeks. I have a long wait list of people who want to get in on the hedge fund. So if you guys are interested in it, feel free to reach out to me. I just got a lot of work to do over the next couple days, weeks, months, etc., as we get the fund up and running. So, all right, guys, if you guys are looking to take this first entry right here, it's going to be right here at 6 o'clock. It's going to be for a buy, or I think it's going to be for a buy. We got to wait for this here to actually, close, but the entry right here at 6 o'clock. So my entry at 6 o'clock, again, if you guys are just joining in, it is going to be against momentum. Right now, we currently have a bearish momentum, so it's going to be a buy position if a buy signal does not come up. The overall win ratio is 72.22%. It's a 1 to 2 risk reward. My target entry for the day. Win rate is 87.50 for buys, and it won one out of the three recent Thursdays. So I'm going to be looking to take a buy here if it ends up closing. So we'll see where this goes. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Lila. Yeah, we'll be in touch, Lila, 'cause I know you're still part of the fund, so I need to reactivate your account as well. I just gotta figure out what risk you want per trade. All right, guys, this trade's gonna come up in about 50 seconds. Hey, well, morning, David, morning, everybody. All right, trade's gonna come up shortly in about 40 seconds right here. Volatility is it's pretty normal for pre-market. It's pretty low right now, 8 points. So you got about 20 seconds until this comes up. All right, we got 10 seconds until this candle here closes. Candle's closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Order submitted. Order. Order filled.
All right, for some reason, one of my accounts didn't, a couple of them actually didn't execute the hedge clients. I need to figure out what the issue is with those accounts, but trade's currently running right now. I knew there's going to be some sort of issue probably with the first client accounts. I got to figure out what the issue was, but I'm going to figure it out after this. So Trade's currently running right now. Let's make sure the criteria here is lined up properly. Volatility is kind of low right now, so we'll see. If this stops me out, it's fine. First entry for the day. We'll be looking for the next one. So the stop's supposed to be at 80. Let's line it properly. Target is at 40. Yeah, the volatility is kind of low right now. Market's going sideways. I try to execute the first trades for the hedge fund. It looks like all of them had an error, so I gotta. And Lila, I think we have to do this too. I'm gonna have to go and talk to the regulators because they haven't. I sent them over your information, everybody's information actually, but I gotta get approved from the compliance department at NinjaTrader because they just approved me last night. So I don't think they've approved it yet, which is all good. I'll have to get that situated later today. But anyways, this is the first trade for the day. It's currently running again. If it stops me out, that's fine. I'll be looking for the next entry over here, which is going to be at 635. So still in the position right here. Volatility is really low. Still hanging on. All right, so I got stopped out on that one. It's all good. Small loss on that trade, guys. Lost 1 hour. So this is the first trade for the day. Took a
Sell.
loss on this one. It's all good. Now we got the next one coming up over here, which is going to be at 635. So like I said, the volatility here was very low, so it wasn't like, a big push up that we were looking for. Because I was looking for a correction right here back to the upside, but it didn't exactly happen because the market here has been kind of going sideways right now. We went based off the probabilities, like we talked about. So the probabilities on this trade, obviously nothing's going to be 100%. This had a 72.22 overall probability of it winning, basically a 28% probability of it losing. It fell for that 28% today, which is completely fine. And the win rate for the buys were 87.50. And you can see over here the probability has kind of changed slightly after that loss, right? So small loss on that trade, just about, let's see, 300 bucks it looks like. So not too bad. I'm still in profit for the week because we had 2 wins for this week so far, and I'll be looking to take the next one to bounce back from that trade. So next entry is going to be over here at 635. That's going to be the next one for me right here. I need to figure out what's going on with the hedge accounts. I know like the other accounts are not executing. I probably have to wait for NinjaTrader to confirm because I need to get power of attorney to execute trades on those accounts. I need to figure out what's up with like there's one account here that should be working. I'm just gonna leave this one on. Yeah, for some reason this one's giving me an error, which it shouldn't be giving me an error on. It's cool. I got some time here. So I got about 30 minutes until the next entry. There's a couple entries in between. So we have this one at 627. I'm not looking to take this one because this one's going to be right before open. If you guys do want to take this next entry here, let me see if I can put some spaces in between these here so they're easier to see. All right. Space these out right here. Hey, what's up, Sam? Morning. All right, so let me space these out down here. So guys, just remember, if you guys are taking these entries to be on the safe side, I do highly recommend you guys use a 1 to 2. The reason for that is because if you do lose a trade like I lost right here, the next trade will make it back and you'll make profit on top of it. So first trade right there was a flop, unfortunately. The next trade right here. So this is the next one coming up. This doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be what I'm taking because I don't have a target entry on it. But for this one over here at 627, it's going to be a 61 overall probability of it winning. 1 to 2 risk to reward. It has a 66.67 probability of it winning for a sell. It's won 2 out of the 3 recent Thursdays. So if you're looking to take this trade here at 627, it is going to be a sell entry. Ideally, you don't have to take a sell, but ideally you want to be looking for a sell there. There's another one right here at 634. It has a 50% probability overall, 83.33% probability of a sell. But I'm probably not going to take that one. The probabilities are good, but they're not great. I'll be looking for the 635 though. This is gonna be the one that I'm looking to take here. So this is my next possible entry. So again, like we've talked about, guys, we're going based off the probabilities here. Depending on the probabilities, if the probabilities make sense, I'll be looking to take that. This trade over here at 6 did make sense to me because everything kind of lined up. Like I said, nothing's going to be 100%. So when those losses do happen, it's better to just take the loss than to risk it, right? So let me go ahead and I'll give you guys the numbers here. So this was a probability of it winning. 72.22% probability of it winning overall. The probability of it losing was about 27.78, going the opposite, right? And unfortunately, this is the probability that took the cake today, right? So that was a probability for it overall. And then for the buy entries, probability was 87.50, and the probability for it to be a sell was 12.5, right? So of course you want to you want to be taking the side with more probability. That's why we took the buy there for the 6 o'clock. Same thing with the 635, right? So this is the next entry that I'm looking to take later. It has a 72.22% probability of it winning. Same with the previous number I just ran. So basically 72.22 probability of it winning, 27.78 probability of it losing. We're going to be basing everything off the probabilities here, of course. As you guys can see, price is starting to come back up. It looks like price here is just in a really big range, which is completely fine. It happens sometimes. This is why typically I don't like taking trades pre-market, because what happens is the volatility just isn't there, right? We currently have 9 point ATR right now, which is normal for pre-market, but the problem is we're trading off momentum. So if the momentum isn't there, like I wouldn't be surprised if this thing comes all the way back up, right? Stop this out and then come all the way back up when the volatility starts to kick in. So I'll be waiting. Next entry is going to be right here at 635. I'll try to identify what the overall direction is going to be shortly. Looks like majority of people are still waking up this morning. So we'll be covering that up pretty shortly. Yeah, but we have another entry here at 727. So if you want to take this entry, we did identify this yesterday. This trade did win yesterday, but it's not one that I personally would be looking to take for, the obvious reasons here. It's going to be really close to market open. I'll pull the data right here real quick so we could actually look at the actual data for it. So the one thing with that 6 a.m. entry was that it lost pretty much majority of the Thursdays, right? So that kind of like it kind of knocked down the probabilities a little bit, but the overall probability is still very high. So right here at 627, let me see, I gotta refresh this real quick, the indicator. I'm just gonna refresh the chart. Damn, I'm looking at YM right now. It's coming all the way back up. All right, data over here is loading. I'm loading up the entry over here for 627. So this is the 627 entry right here. So again, here is my I'm just gonna turn off the screener because I'm not using it. I'll just keep the reports down here at the bottom. Let me see if it turns off because it's just in the way. There we go. Okay, so the entry right here is at 627, so it has a 61.11 probability of it winning. It's not a very great win ratio, right? I mean, probability. Like typically I want the probability to be above 65% for me to actually want to take it. And then I need it to kind of weigh in a direction for a buy or a sell. So overall probability here, it's not horrible, but it's not great, right? Anything above 33.3% is going to be in your favor, but obviously I want to take the highest probability trades. So this trade could hit, it could not hit. I mean, it's just really up to what happens with the market. Obviously, like if you were to do the math here, it has a 61.11 probability of it winning. The probability of it losing is going to be 38.89, right? So you have kind of in between there. It's kind of like a coin toss in a sense. Looking over here at the trade analysis, so basically right here you can see it has a 55.56 probability of it winning for a buy and a 66.67 probability of it winning for a sell, right? Obviously, if I'm going to go with probabilities, I would go with the sell here. Looking at the list of trades here from the previous entries. So last Thursday was October 9th. It won last Thursday right here, you can see. And then looking at the Thursday before that, it's October 2nd. It lost on that day. And the Thursday before that is going to be September 25th, which it won. So it won two out of the three Thursdays, which is good. Like you want to see that. So putting everything all together, again, it has a 61.11 probability of it winning overall, 66.67 probability of it winning for sells, and it won two out of the three recent Thursdays. So if you do want to take this next trade over here at 627, it is going to be uh, with momentum, and ideally you want to be looking for a sell there. So we'll see what happens here. Here's back to my 6 a.m. entry. Unfortunately, price is coming right back up. Like I mentioned, we just got caught in this like random pullback right here, and then now it's coming all the way back up to where you're expecting it to go, which happens sometimes. This is the risk that you take when you're going against momentum. Typically, I like going with momentum, but this trade over here, the probabilities indicated that we should be going against momentum in the direction of a buy. So we'll see what happens here in a few. Let's take a look at the overall direction of market now. So looking over here on the 1 minute, you can see price is above the pivots. The trend meter is green. Pivots are angling up. This indicates that we're in a bullish trend. So ideally on the first minute or 1 minute, you want to be looking for possible buys there. Looking over here on the 5, it's pretty much neutral right now. Price is in between the pivots, but it is shifting up. Same with the 15. So 15 over here, price is above the pivots. The trend meter is green. Pivots are angling up. Price looks like it might be bullish here on the lower time frames. Going down to the higher time frames, 30 minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour, you can see here that price is kind of neutral as well. So the 30 minute over here, price is above the pivots. Trend meter is green. Pivots are going sideways. 1 hour here, price is above the pivots. The trend meter is green. Pivots are going sideways, but slightly up. And same with the 4 hour here. Price is in between the pivots. The trend meter is red and the pivots are going sideways. So with that being the case, looks like on the lower time frames, we're currently bullish. Higher time frames, we're more so on the neutral side, but it does look like price is likely to keep pushing up higher. Now looking over here at market structure, it's pretty much neutral across the board, right? If you look down below here, you can see on the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15, 30, it's all neutral. Looking down the 1 hour, it's bullish and the 4 hour is neutral. So with that being the case, we have more of a bullish neutral bias for the day with regard to the trend and with regard to the market structure. Let's go back to our entry over here at 6 o'clock. So it looks like our entry here, like I said, unfortunately, we got caught in the chop right here as price kind of chopped down, and now it's coming all the way back up to where we were expecting it to go. So initially, we were expecting it to push up. Like I said, your probabilities will never be 100%, but we are trading with the probabilities here. So unfortunately, I got stopped out on this first initial trade at 6 o'clock. I'm looking to get back in later around, 627, 635, somewhere around there to recoup that loss and make profit on top of it. Since I'm doing a 1 to 2 risk to reward, I'm risking one to make two. So for example, here I lost 20 points. If I win the next trade, I'm going to make 40 points, right? So I'll recoup the 20 and I'll make another 20 on top of it. So that's what we're looking for here, and that's what we're waiting for. We're looking for price here to provide an opportunity for entry. We have market opening up in about 15 minutes. It's 6:15 right now. Next on our list over here, we're going to be marking up liquidity. So I'll mark up liquidity and market structure. I personally don't use market structure or technical analysis for my entries. All of my entries are based off historical quantitative data. So, if you want to use the price action or technical analysis here, you guys are more than welcome to. But for me personally, I'm going off the data. So I'm going wherever I have the higher probability of a trade hitting. And we'll see here where that is. So my next high probable entry is going to be at 635. So we'll pretty much follow and we'll see where price goes, but I'm not looking to take anything until later, about 17 minutes or so. I'm really curious to see where this 627 entry is going to go, though. I mean, it has a decent probability of it winning. The only problem is that it has to cut through the opening price where manipulation tends to happen. All right, let's see. Dropping down to the 1 minute here. All right. Everything is set up. We have liquidity marked up. Let me see if I have market structure over here also marked up. So we got this upper resistance or demand level, whatever you guys want to call it. Again, like I said, I'm not marking these up for me. I'm marking this up for you guys just so that you guys can see where the market structure is sitting. I don't use any of this stuff anymore. I'm basing everything off the data. This was a support turn resistance. This was a support turn resistance. This is a resistance. I mean, just looking at the market right now, it's actually a lot choppier than I was anticipating, which is completely fine. I mean, all this stuff doesn't really matter to me. We're still trading based off the probabilities. Of course, we're going to get caught in some chop sometimes, and that's just part of the game. So, all right, so I got market structure here pretty much marked up. We have a couple of resistance levels, a couple of support levels, a couple of support turn resistance, a couple of resistance turn support. With that said, this is pretty much the market structure I have. There's some imbalances kind of all throughout the market here, but they're kind of irrelevant because I think when market opens up, it's going to wipe out a lot of those levels. So I'll do some updates as we get closer to that. It's 6:18 right now, so we got a lot of time here until market open, about 12 minutes. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Let's see, one question from Glenn. Glenn is asking, Sean, do you keep track of the win rate of the 6 a.m. entries? Well, the thing is, I run the algo every day, so I mean, I guess technically it does keep track, but I don't keep track manually because the thing is, so the thing with the 6 a.m. entry is that it's not always going to be, there's not always going to be an edge there, right? So it doesn't really matter if I keep track or not. The thing is, I'm running the algo. Like this list is updated every day with regard to the algo. So if there's no longer an edge, I'm not going to take the 6 a.m. entry, right? Let's go back to that 6 o'clock entry. There's still edge there. So I think tomorrow I'll probably still be looking for it. I'm want to get my money back on that trade, of course, uh, which is fine. Man, but for some reason, the algo, well, I think it's just trading view. Let me refresh this real quick. So let's pull it up. So like, for example, I mean, I don't have to keep track because I can just pull the data up, right? So this is going to be the 6 a.m. entry. Yes, 6 a.m. against momentum. Pretty much every day I pull up the new data. So like right here, it shows that for the past, 19 trading days, basically a month, it has won 13 out of the 19 trading days. So the probability is 68.42. Obviously, it dropped a bit because the probability was a bit higher before this loss today. It was at 72.22. And if you wanted to track it, like you said, I mean, you could track it however you want because all the data is already here. The probability is still good for buys here at 77.78. If you want to go back even further, you could. Like right now, this is for September 21st until today. If you want to go back like 30 days, you can do that, or I can do that. So I don't really need to keep track because the algorithm is keeping track itself. It's identifying if the edge is still there. So if the edge dies out, then you stop trading at 6 o'clock. We look for the next edge. So you can see the edge is actually pretty good. This is 30 days, so 23 trading days, basically a little over a month almost. Now the profitability is actually higher. It's 116 out of 23. It's 69.57. If I want to look at the trades for buys, the buys are still strong here. If I want to go further and go 90 days, I can do that too. This is what's powerful about the algo, right? The algo kind of does all the work for you, so you don't have to actually track stuff yourself. You could track it, like if 6 o'clock is your favorite entry, then you can manually track it. But I'm tracking all the trades for the first 2 hours, basically between 6 and 8. So I'm never going to be like stuck on just one time. So it's updating right now for the 90-day period. I'm kind of curious now to see where it was at. I'm gonna look to see what's the probabilities on a longer time frame, right? It's always cool to see these numbers because these numbers are very interesting. Uh, to see how this, this specific time period, 6 o'clock, works on a longer time scale. So it's updating the report right here. I'll give you the update once it finishes updating. Basically, what my algo is doing is it's running back 90 days. So it's running the same strategy at 6 o'clock every day for the past 90 days. So the win ratio here is not super great, but it's still good. On a long-term perspective here, you can see here that it still wins 32 out of 65% of the trade. So this is very profitable still. Anything above 33.3% is going to be profitable. Looking over here at the trade analysis, you can see that the numbers here kind of drop down a little bit, right? It's still pretty high. The buys here, it won pretty much 20 out of the previous 30 trades. So the probability there is still pretty good. And this is on a bigger scale. So like using this data here, you can see that over a long period of time, there's going to be drawdown periods. So like, for example, if you look over here in July, the 6 o'clock entry wasn't super great, right? It was more of a break-even trade. I mean, it was still profitable, but it was more on the break-even side. So you can see there was some drawdown here between July 22nd till July 30th, and it made some profit. So it pretty much would have recouped everything because this is a 2-to-1. And then it has some drawdown over here as well between August 8th to August 21st. And then right here between August 25th until September 12th. And then from September 12th up until today, October, it's been ripping, right? Bunch of wins here. Crazy, crazy win streak. And this is why right now is a good time to apply the strategy because there's an edge, right? When the edge dies out, you just stop using it. And then when the edge comes back, you go back to using it. You just use whatever has an edge at the time. Yeah, Glenn said, I see, sweet. Yeah, this is why it's always important that you guys use the data to your advantage. And this is why the long-term data doesn't really matter, right? Because you're not always going to trade at 6 o'clock. Like right now, we're trading at 6 o'clock because the probabilities are high. But that's going to shift, right? Over the next couple of days, next couple of weeks, next couple of months, there's going to be different times that are better than others. And obviously, I'll be looking to take those trades versus the ones that I'm taking now. You just have to adapt with the market because the market's not always going to be in your favor for a specific time. So, all right, guys, next entry right here. I'm not taking this one. It's going to be at 627. Yeah, it's going to be at 627. For those of you who are looking to get into it. Here, how many trades were locked in here? I think it was 19. Let me turn on the screen real quick. I just want to make sure I have the right number of trades enabled. Okay, so the trade right here at 627, guys, it's going to be with momentum. So depending on where the momentum is, when we get closer to that 627 candle, that's going to be the direction of the trade. All right, let me turn off my screen real quick. So guys, just a reminder, I know a lot of you guys are just getting in. So last night I got the email from the regulators at the National Futures Association, basically the governing, basically whoever like oversees all the futures trades and future traders in the market. They approved my account, so the hedge fund is now active and my personal is now active. So now I'm registered as a professional trader with the National Futures Association, and I'm able to manage money. So if you guys are interested in me trading for you, then that option is available to you guys. If you guys want me to trade your accounts and you guys just want to be completely hands-free and you just want to check your account at the end of each day to see how much profit or loss you've made with me controlling your account, that's available. So if you guys are interested in that, just let me know. There's no more profit splits. So all you really need is a NinjaTrader account to cover margin. And then I'll link your account to my copier. So like basically, like these are all the profits that tend to, that I typically make. So if you want to be one of these accounts where you don't have to do anything, and I just take all the trades for you, all you need to do is pay a monthly service fee. And then from there, you're good to go. The service fee is going to be based on the contracts that you take. So it's going to be equal to basically one winning trade. I look to take about 1 to 3 trades per day. So, you're going to make that back pretty quickly, basically in a week, not even a week, maybe in a day or a couple of days time to cover that service fee. But all right, guys, we have market reaching 627 right here. If you guys want to take this trade, take it at your own risk. Like I said, this is too close to market open, so I'm not looking to take this trade here. It looks like it's probably going to be a buy. Let me just put the data over here again real quick so we can kind of pull it up and see what it's looking like. So yeah, the 627 entry, it is going to be with momentum. We currently have a bullish momentum here, so it's going to be a buy entry. It has a 61.11% probability of it winning overall, and it has a 66.67% probability of it winning for a sell. So ideally, you want to take a sell here. Okay, so it's no longer a buy, it's now a sell because we do have a sell signal which came up right there. So if you guys want to take this trade at 627, I mean, feel free. Like I said, this is going to be too close to market open, so I'm not taking this trade here. I don't want to be caught in any market manipulation. I want the trade to run smoothly. But yeah, if you guys want to take it, it's going to be right there for a sell. Candle's going to close in about 30 seconds. As soon as that candle closes, you can enter it here for a sell, and we'll follow it with you guys. So again, 61.11 probability of it winning overall, 66.67 probability of it winning for a sell. It won 2 out of the 3 recent Thursdays. And you want to aim for a sell, of course, if it comes up, which is it's going to be a sell here. So we'll follow it here. For you guys, again, I'm going to be watching it. It's closing about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm just following it here, guys, not taking it myself because I do not want to get caught in any market manipulation, of course. We got market opening up in about 2 minutes. So it's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky for the obvious reasons here. Because market's going to likely spike right here at 6 o'clock or 6:30. So the trade's currently running. Let me clean this up a little bit. It's looking good. It's running in profit right there. There goes that 627 entry. All right, so let's take a look at the breakout for today. So if you guys are looking to take the breakout for today, the it's looking like it's probably going to be a sell. So we do have a sell momentum there. If you guys want to take it for a 80-40, I mean, feel free to do that. I'll mark it up for you guys and we'll follow it here as price continues to, obviously move along. Not in the position, of course, but we'll kind of see where this ends up going. It's not there yet. All right, we got market open in about 40 seconds. The trade here at 627. This is the reason why I didn't want to take this trade because see how close you are. You have like about 2 minutes for it to hit your target. Otherwise, you're going to be caught in this spike. It's either going to spike down and hit your TP, or it's going to spike up and hit your stop loss. I don't want to take that risk, of course. It's way too close to market open. You're kind of just taking a gamble here. Even if the probability is on your side, you're taking a huge gamble because price, you can't predict where it's going to spike on open. At least not predict it correctly every single time. Ideally, I'd like it to spike down, of course, right? Let it spike down, let it hit its target, and then, go from there. So we got market opening up in about 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Market is now open. So not much of a spike here on open. Oh, there you go. There goes that spike I just warned you guys about. This is exactly why I don't like taking trades right on open. So good thing we skipped that trade there because you can see here that very unpredictable. Not exactly the entry that I'd be looking to take. So that's a reason why you skip those trades on open. Anyways, let's go back over here real quick. So my next actual trade is going to be over here at 635. That's going to be one of my target entries. We have another one coming up right here at 634. Again, I'm not really looking to take this one because the probabilities aren't as high. But they do go in line, so they're both looking for a sell here. So I'll be watching it. I'm going to look for price here to kind of stabilize a little bit. The orb should be coming up pretty soon as well. If you guys are looking to take that orb. So the orb is going to set up in a few moments, basically 1 more minute from now. We're getting price kind of bouncing around a bit. Hey, what's up, Barack? Yeah, Barack said he's going to sit out with the breakout just in case they manipulate a buy in there. And that's exactly what happened, right, Brock? Good thing you set out on it. iPhone's asking, can you mark up the orb as well? Yeah, we'll look for the orb here. If it comes up, I mean, we'll see if because this might overlap with the actual entry I'm looking to take, but I'll try to mark it up as price comes along. So we got the orb over here setting up. It's on the 2nd minute right now. So we'll bounce back between these two charts. My next entry again is going to be right here at 635. So for my 635 entry, it has a 72.22 probability of it winning overall. It has a 83.33% probability of it winning for a sell. And it has won one out of the three recent Thursdays. So looking over here on the 9th, it lost. Looking over here on the 2nd, it won. And looking over here on the, I think, what is it, 22nd or 25th, it also lost. So that being the case, a little bit of a tricky entry, but we'll see. The thing that I don't like right now, and this shouldn't really matter because we're not basing our trades off price action or market structure, is the fact that price here is currently ranging between this support and resistance, right? I mean, I'm not going to use this because obviously we don't care about this if we're trading off the data, but you can see here that price is kind of choppy today. It's a bit choppier than usual. Yeah, past couple days have been pretty smooth, been pretty much moving around, but today's been a lot more choppier. All right, guys, so the orb here is now ready. Um, you're looking for a breaking close past structure. So if price breaks past the structure right here, the orb, then you're going to be looking for that retest. You're looking to get in right away. So see how price is dumping super hard? This is the manipulation that we were kind of, well, this thing's dumping actually a lot harder than anticipated. But yeah, this is going to be the orb over here, guys. So if this candle here closes below the orb low, entry is going to be right there at 46,549. It's got to close below it though. So if you guys are looking to take that orb, you're waiting for this here to close below there. Let's see. Roosevelt said, deep in your heart, do you still care about technical analysis? No, not at all. Because the thing is, a technical analysis, if you watch the video over here, watch the video of the interview that I posted in the chat yesterday. You kind of like, if you listen to what the other algo trader was mentioning, it makes a lot of sense. The technical analysis is there to confuse you. If there's nothing wrong with technical analysis, it's strategy. It's a type of way to trade. But for me, now that I've been trading based off the historical data and based off the quantitative data, it makes sense. Like the technical analysis here is really there to confuse you as a retail trader. There's no hedge funds out there that actually use technical analysis. They base everything off data for the most part. Um, I think like pretty much majority of the trades that are taken are based off the quantitative data. So for me personally, I'm glad that I kind of moved away from technical analysis and I'm just going off the data because I feel more comfortable when I'm taking a trade and I'm taking that trade based off the data, right? Because I know my probabilities here. Like my trade at 635, I know if I take this trade, I have a 72%, probability of the trade winning. And then I have a 28% probability of it losing. So I prefer to take my odds on that, of course. So again, guys, my entry over here is going to be for a sell, it looks like. The one thing that I don't like is that there's some crazy volatility happening right now in the market, right? If you look at this is very irregular when it comes down to, yeah, these candles are extremely large. I think if this is the case, I might sit out on the 635 entry because I don't want to get caught in the chop, right? My stop loss is very tight, so I don't want to get caught in any of this choppiness right here. I might just wait until the later entry, until the market here starts to kind of smoothen out a little bit because these candles are extremely large. The thing is my stop is really tight. It's 20 points. So if it pulls back even just a little bit, it'll stop me out. And I think that's what I'm going to do here. If you guys want to take this trade, this is the 635 trade. It's one of my target entries. However, the market volatility here is irregular, meaning that it doesn't really line up with the data, right? Because the data over here is based off based off normal market. Right now, this is not considered normal market because you can see the ATR is spiking all over the place. So if you want to take this trade's currently running. This is the 635 entry right here that I had marked up. If you guys are on the Discord, I posted all of my trades here last night. Every night I post up all of my trades that I'm looking to take right here. So this is the 635 candle right there. It has a 72.22 probability of it winning, 1 to 2 risk to reward, probability of 83.33% for sells. It won one out of the three previous Thursdays, and I was aiming for a sell here. But because of this market volatility, it's a good thing I skipped the trade. See this right here? Um, and my decision to not take this trade was not based off the price action and it wasn't based off the technical analysis. It's based off the volatility here. The ATR is a little too high, or it's starting to get a little too high. Um, all my trades are based off the data from the previous month. The previous month, normal market conditions are like around lower 20 or lower 30 ATR, higher 20s. And if you measure these current candles right here, these are 80-point candles. So again, we're just waiting here for the market to kind of stabilize a little bit because we don't want to get caught in these fake outs. So I'm done with that right there. I'm going to be moving on to the next one. Probably not the 636 candle because again, with this one, it's too close to this. And you can see it better on the main chart. So if you look over here on the main chart, let's just scroll down a little bit. See these candles here? These candles are extremely large. They're extremely large. If you compare these candles to the other candles, so these are the candles right here, the normal ones, and this one's like an 80-point candle. So obviously you would get caught in market manipulation here, depending if your stops are tight or if you guys, well, for the most part, you should have tight stops. Thing is, there's no direction here. Price is kind of just bouncing back and forth very, very extremely. So I think what I might do here is, I mean, I have a whole list of trades, right? So I don't need to force anything right now. If I don't get anything right here on 6:30, I can always get into something later at 7, which is, I think, what I'm going to do. If you look at these candles here, obviously, if you're looking at the technical analysis part of things, it's very choppy. See all the wicks between each candle? This shows that this is irregular market movement. This would be normal market movement. There's like not a lot of wicks. Price is just moving with the flow. Over here, it is definitely not moving with the flow, as you guys can see. It's going back and forth. Let's see, where's my next target entry? I mean, there's a couple target entries here. There's one at 636, obviously not taking it because it's market's crazy. 638. Also not looking to get into that one because I'm trying to get out of this irregular market movement. I want it to move regular for the most part. The main thing that you have to look out for if you're taking these algo entries is irregular market conditions, right? Because the data here is based off regular market conditions, right? This data here shows you a big sample of like how trades move at the specific time for the past month, basically. And the thing is, market doesn't normally move like this, right? You don't usually see YM chop back and forth with these huge wicks. The thing is, Trump did announce some stuff yesterday about the tariffs against China. So I think that's kind of what's affecting the market right now. Let me check if there's news. So there was news, or there wasn't actually. There was supposed to be news, but because of the government shutdown, um, there hasn't been news. The updates from CNBC basically are, if you guys saw, I mentioned that like, Trump is trying to fire like or lay off a ton of people, right? A ton of government workers, but the courts blocked him on doing that. The other thing here is the tariffs on China. Basically, he said he was gonna, Trump basically said last night that we're in a trade war with China. Like he made it official. Let's see if there's any other updates here. It's not really too many updates here to work with. Looking at the candles here again, I'm waiting for the candles here to kind of smoothen out a little bit. The last entry that came up was going to be right here at 638. So the 638 candle right here, it was with momentum. It was with momentum, 61.11 probability of it winning for a 1 to 2 and a 71.43. Let's go ahead and just do the math, or not do the math. Let's check the stats over here real quick. So looking at the trade here, this is the 638 candle. Looks like it's probably running, or if it already hit target. Yeah, it already hit target. So this is the most recent one that came up right there. So I mean, obviously I wouldn't take this trade because of the choppiness, but this trade over here did just come up. It's currently 641 right now. So the most recent one's at 638. I was aiming for a buy here. The buy didn't come up. It was actually a sell because you're going with momentum. So we had a sell momentum here. The entry happened on the close of the 638 candle. You can see right here it was 10 points taken short, and this trade would have hit target. There was actually two entries. There was another one right before it right here. 636. I mean, obviously I wouldn't take that one there because of the main reasons I just mentioned. But this is the most recent one. I'm not going to count this trade. I just wanted to show you guys here the trades as they come in order. So the 638 candle, it had a 61.11 probability of it winning. It's not very good with overall win ratio. However, the um, individual direction is 71.43 for buy. So either way, it wouldn't be a good probability for a sell there. Looking over here at 647, this is going to be the next entry. Again, I'm still not looking to take anything here yet because of the crazy market movement. But if it starts to smoothen out, I may look to take this entry right here at 647. It's getting pretty close, so I don't think I'm really going to look to take that, but that is going to be the next entry right here. 647, overall probability is 61.11, so the overall probabilities aren't super high. Again, if you guys want to do the math on that, you'd have basically a 61.11 probability of it winning, 38.89 probability of it losing. So obviously you're never going to be 100%, but those are the probabilities. The big selling point about this entry at 647 is if you go down to the trade analysis, you can see over here that it has an 88.89% probability of it winning for a buy. So that's good, right? The overall is not super great, but it does show that there's consistency with this specific time period. However, the uh, the single direction for sells shows that it typically wins for sells. It's pretty much won 8 of the 9 sell entries which have came up over the past month. So the probabilities are there. What you're looking for here is basically you're looking for the sell signal to hold, and then you're going to look for price to continue climbing down lower as this time comes. All right, we're looking for price to continue dropping down lower. Looking at the stats over here, so it pretty much won 2 out of the recent Thursdays. So looking over here on October 9th, the trade won. You can see right here as a winner. October 2nd, the trade won again right here as well. So 2 back-to-back wins for previous Thursdays. And then on September 25th, it lost. So like I said, there's going to be outliers. You can never be 100% with your trade. It just kind of depends on where you are at that specific point in time with regard to market conditions. We have a couple minutes till 647. I don't know if I'm looking to get into this yet. Like I said, I'm waiting for the market conditions to go back to normal. Right now, this isn't normal for me. We're in this chop. Let's go to the main chart. And you can see here, these candles are pretty crazy, right? You just look at this whole section of candles right here. This is why, even though we're trading off the data, there still has to be some discretion here. I mean, you can trade directly off the data if you really wanted to, but in order for you to be highly profitable and highly consistent with winning trades, you want to be able to identify, like without using price action or technical analysis, you want to see when the market's moving unusually weird, because that's going to keep you out of the market rather than in. Pre-market, the market was looking fine though. Sideways market, fine. Huge chop right here, not fine. So again, I still have other opportunities here. I'm not fully convinced that I need to take a trade here at 647. Again, I kind of want price to move out of this area, and I want the candles to start moving more on a consistent basis. So I want price to actually move out of this chop basically to the upside or to the downside. Not using price action or technical analysis to to influence my position, but I just wanted to get out of this chop here. So right here at 747, this looks like it's possibly going to set up for a buy. Depends on where the momentum signal is at. Barack. So Barack mentioned that there's a futures trading competitions. Yeah, so I signed up for the Tradeify guys. I'll be competing in the Tradeify trading tournament. If you guys want to compete in it, if you have a Tradeify account, it's completely free. You just need to sign up. If you're not a Tradeify trader, then it's like $30. But there's cash prizes and it's cool. It's a little event there. I'll be running the algo on it, so we'll see. I think that the competition is going to be very tricky because the thing that I don't like about the competition is that they're allowing for 3 resets. I think if it's a real competition, there shouldn't be resets, right? If you blow your account, you blow your account. You're out of the competition. But they're allowing people to reset their accounts. So I think what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to YOLO and they're going to try to get lucky, taking these like really extreme trades, right? I'm gonna trade consistently. I'm just gonna trade how I normally trade, and hopefully I'll make it to the finals, right? So the competition starts with everybody, and then after week one or week two, the top 200 traders move on to the final stage. So I'm hoping applying this algo during that time period, I'll be consistent enough not to, I'll make consistent profits, of course, but not enough to like kind of take too much risk, and then I'll basically float to the finalists. And then from the finalists, it'll be the top 200. So depending on how you rank with the competition, depends on how much money you'll get. If you get to, I think if you get to the finalists, they give you a live account. So the competition starts with evals or just fake money accounts, and then if you make it to top 200, they give you a live account to trade, or for 50K or whatever. So it's pretty interesting. I mean, I like that these prop firms are starting to do these competitions. I think it's pretty cool and it's pretty fun. Um, yeah, it's gonna be a cool thing to see. All right, guys. So if you're looking to take the entry right here at 647, I was aiming to take a sell. It's gonna be a buy here actually because of the criteria. So we currently have a bullish momentum here. If you guys want to take this trade, it's gonna be a buy entry. Again, I'm not taking this entry here, but if you guys want to take it, feel free to take it. It doesn't meet my criteria. So there goes the entry right there. Good thing I skipped out on this. So you guys can see the irregular movement in the market right here, right? These candles are huge. Like the trade's currently running right now, and this is probably going to hit target, which I hope it does, because obviously I want the algo to still be able to identify these wins, even though the market's kind of all over the place. Um, but yeah, like looking at this right here, I mean, this candle was huge. Let's just measure this red candle right here. This is a 64 point candle. And if you look at the ATR below, the ATR is almost at 40 right now. So yeah, I kind of want to sit out of these trades right now. I'm gonna wait till like closer to like later 7 o'clock because I think these entries over here are probably gonna smoothen out a little bit. Right now, this thing is just it's just so irregular. The thing is, my stop loss is so tight, right? I have a 20 point stop loss, so if it pulls back even just a little bit, it can easily stop me out. So I think these kind of crazy market conditions, this is temporary right now. I think a lot of this stuff is just based off like what's been going on behind the scenes, right? The tariffs, Trump, uh, the government shutdown. There's just a lot of things happening behind the scenes that aren't like part of the normal market that's causing a lot of this like irregular volatility in the market. But once the market starts to smoothen out, then it's going to be moving how it should be. Either way, if the market continues to move pretty crazy like this, the algo is going to adapt with it, right? So if the once the algo adapts with the market, we're going to be able to we either have to adjust our TP stop losses or we would just bounce with whatever's working at the time. So I'm not in this position right here. This was 647 again, like I said, it only had a 61.11 probability of it winning. It had a basically 38% probability of it losing. I don't like the probabilities on this one, of course. I want it to be pretty high. And again, right here, probably a good decision that we skip that trade, right? Also, I was looking for a sell. So looking at that 647 in trigger, let me just highlight it. Because the data over here showed that it won 88.89% for sells, right? So this is like either way, I wouldn't have taken this trade because the trade here was for a buy and it just wouldn't meet my criteria because I was last night. So basically with this algo, I run the algo pretty much the night before. So last night I do all the heavy lifting and then in the morning, like right now, I already know what my position is going to be, right? If it doesn't come up for a sell, I'm skipping it. Right here, it didn't come up for a sell, so I skipped it. If it was for a sell, I probably would have taken it, but it didn't. It was for a buy. So now we're moving on to the next one. Next one's at 651. The probabilities on this one aren't very high. You can see I don't have a target entry for this one. Let me just highlight it. There we go. So I'm going to change the settings over here to, what is it, 51? And I'll explain why this trade is on the list, even though the probabilities are very low. RH is asking, can you share the algo video you referenced? Been shifting away from technical analysis myself. Yeah, of course, bro. So let me see if I can get it over here. I share the link. There you go, RH. Let's see. Barack said if it says sell if taking. Yes, that is correct. It does say sell if taking. So for that trade right there at 647, I would only take it if it came up for a sell. Again, I do all the heavy lifting the night before. So last night I identified all these entries, I identified the probabilities, and I chose a direction. So it's either I'm going to take a buy or I'm going to take a sell. I base it off the probabilities here. So using 651 as an example. So right here at 651, it's going to be with momentum. So I'm trading with momentum. It has a 50% probability overall. This is not good, right? I mean, it's okay, but it's not good. I typically want it to be above 60 or above 65. The reason why this made my list, and the trade's currently running right now, guys. So this is the 651 trade. It's currently running right now for a sell. It wasn't one of my target entries, but I'm going to go over why I decided to put this on the list, right? Because typically it has to be at least 60% to be put on the list and above 65 for it to be my target entry. The reason why I put this here on the list is because right here has an overall 50% probability of it winning. However, if you look over here at the trade analysis, it shows that the trades over here have a probability of 71.43 for buys. So I was using this as a confluence, not exactly an entry for me. The entry here was a sell. But like I said, you'd have to choose the differences between like what comes up. The probability over here for a sell wasn't super high, but it looks like this one's probably going to hit. And it looks like it's about to hit right there, 40 points. So this one over here, although it went against the higher probabilities, it still hit perfectly fine, right? So my bias for this was a buy, but the trade did come up for a sell. So 651 right here, it had a probability of winning for a buy 50%, probability of it winning for a sell 50%. It was a 1 to 2 risk reward. It won pretty much 3 out of the 3 recent Thursdays. This was another reason why I added it to my list, right? Because for the past 3 Thursdays, so let's look over here on October 9th, it won full TP right there. And then looking over here on October 2nd, it also won full TP right there. And then looking over here at September 25th, it also won. So it shows here that even though the probability isn't super high, it shows that it's consistently winning on Thursday trading days. And that's why I use this data here. And this is the reason why it was on the list. Overall probability was low. Individual probability was okay. But the main thing that really sold me on this specific entry to add to the list was that it won every single Thursday. So if it wins every Thursday, odds are it's probably going to win today, and it did here as well. So, all right, next entry is going to be at 7-11. This one is not one of my target entries. It's just one of the entries that I added to my list. So I'll change the data over here now to 7-11. My next target entry is not going to be until 7:23. So I got some time over here. All right, so looking at the entries for today so far, there's basically 3 entries here which came up that I was kind of looking for. So I'll put algo entries for today, 6 a.m. This was a loss, -1R. What time was this one? 6:37 plus 2R. And this one that just came up right here, which was at 6:51. So if you took all of the entries that I kind of planned to take for today, I mean, you'd still be in profit. I'm not taking all of them, of course, for the obvious reason. So it's currently 2 wins, 1 loss, plus 3R. That's where it's at right now, currently for the day. All right, so next entry is going to be at 7-11. I pulled up the data over here. This is going to be against momentum, updating the data right there. Let's see, Barack said had my buy target at 910. This movement is inconsistent for me, but I'll hold it. Fingers crossed. Yeah, hopefully we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Okay, so this is the entry at 7-11, guys. The probabilities they're okay, but they're not great, right? Overall probability here of this trade winning for today is 61.11. This is based off the sample of a month's worth of trades. Um, so let me highlight it over here again so that you guys can see. Okay, so this is going to be against momentum. So depending on where the momentum is pointing, you're going to be doing the opposite. We're expecting and anticipating a reversal to happen around 7-11. It has a 61.11 probability of it winning. So again, if you do the math, you have a 61.11 probability of it winning, 38 probability of it losing. Um, Looking at the win ratio, it's for a 1 to 2 risk to reward. Win ratio over here for sells is going to be 69.23%. So you can see over here, it's like I said, you'll never be 100%, guys. So yeah, if once you can get your head across to like never being right all the time, you just want to weigh your trades in your favor, right? So it doesn't matter if the trade could win or lose, but if you're taking a trade that has a high probability, the odds are it's probably going to hit, right? It's going to hit, and if it hits, great. If it doesn't hit, that's also okay because you went based off your analysis off the data. So right here for sells, it shows that it has a 69.23% probability of it winning, right? Versus 40% for buys. You can see over here for sells, it won 9 out of the 13 trades. So it's not great, but it's okay, right? Like I said, you're trading a 1 to 2 risk reward. So like anything above a 33.3 is going to be possibly profit for you. I mean, ideally it'd be profitable. That's why for me, I'm only going for trades with the highest probability because I can take losses here and there, but overall, I'm going to end up in profit regardless because of the obvious reasons. So, yeah, the trade at 7-11 is going to be against momentum, 61.11% probability overall, 69.23% probability for a sell. It won 2 out of the recent Thursdays. So going back at the historical data, it won last Thursday, October 9th. Going to the Thursday before that, October 2nd, it lost. And September 25th, the Thursday before that, it won. So basically, 2 out of the 3 Thursdays, it won the trade. So it shows that it has some consistency on Thursday winning. Obviously, not 100%, but it does have the probabilities in your favor. But because the probabilities here aren't high enough, I'm not personally looking to get into this position here. I mean, my decision might change as we get closer to 7-11, but the odds are I'm probably not going to take this trade. I already made a decision last night that it's not one of my target entries. So I'm just looking at it as a possible entry, but not one of the ones that I'm actually looking to want to take because the probabilities just aren't high enough. I give myself basically 1 to 3 trades per day. So I got to choose 1 to 3 trades. My first trade over here obviously didn't play out. Probability was pretty high, but didn't play out. My next target entry is going to be right here at 723, and then again right here at 751. But this is the first one coming up. First one coming up soon, 7-11. Let's see, Talanji said, so you literally test every minute for the 2 hours, document the sell and buy performance, and then pick your own top 10. Not really top 10, but I pick whatever is good. So if the data is good, Solange. But yes, you were correct. I do go by the minute. So like here's an example of like what I do every evening. Because I only trade between 6 and 8. I basically, but yeah, it's 120 tests. But the thing is, I have a system in place that I can do this within like less than an hour. Because I do it every day, right? So like the system's pretty easy. What I do is I'll just go to the settings here, start at 6 o'clock. I'll do this, and then I'll go and I'll start with momentum or whatever, or against momentum, and then I'll just update. So what I'm doing is I'm just watching here to see if the profitability is going to be above 50%. If it's not above 50%, I just skip it, right? So like for example, here it's updating the report. It's at 68, so I'm like, okay, it's 68. I'm gonna put this on my list, right? That's why it gets added to my list here at 6 o'clock. And then let's go over to the next one just to show you. So then I go to the next one, which is 601. Update the report. Well, I obviously go to trade analysis, list of trades to pull all the data, right? Probability overall, singular direction, how many trades it wins for that specific day, and then if I decide to take a buy or sell. So like looking at this now at 602, or 601, it has a probability of 52%. That's not very high, so it doesn't meet my initial threshold. Now I go to the trade analysis, and these numbers here also don't meet my threshold, right? So what happens with this is I skip it. I don't write down 601. Now I go over to 602, same thing. I click update report. I look at the overview. So basically the initial threshold is going to be above 50. If it's above 50, I'll look at the trade analysis. If it's above like 80 on this or above 70, then I'll maybe look to take it. So right here, it's at 47, right? That's too low for me. I don't take that. So it doesn't get added to the list. And then so on, I just go down the list, 801, 802, 803, 804, etc., until I get to the next hour. And then I do the same thing for 7 to 8. So literally all I'm doing is I'm just going down the data one by one. And I have a system in place that it seems like a lot of work, but once you do it a couple times, it like you get used to it. Talanji said, so here's the thing. Let me just pull up the numbers for you. See how the profitability here is at 61% for against? If you get that number, you don't have to go with because the with momentum is not going to be above 50, right? Let me just show you real quick. So it's just, it's using because I have the autopilot already set in my head because I've done this so many times. See how it's currently 61? Let me update the report. It's for sure not going to be above 50. So it just kind of doesn't make sense to check the other report. Because trade can go one way or the other, right? You have to have some sort of bias. You can't check both ways because you check both ways and see 16%. So this is why like I pretty much cut the work in half. I already know it's not going to be above 50% because the trade here obviously. So and this goes both ways, right? Say for example, you're looking at this trade, Talanji, and you see how it's at 16%. You could already think in your head like, okay, if this sucks for momentum, it's got to be good for against, right? You put against and you're like, okay, let me update it now. And you're like, you wait for it to update. It's currently updating the report. And now you're like, okay, 61%. Obviously, this trade I'm gonna put on my list, right? So yeah, it makes it super easy because you just need to have a system in place. It's not just this strategy, but any strategy in general. If you're doing some type of data research or something like that, you just got to find the little shortcuts, right? So it takes me like 30 minutes or an hour to get all of my trades between 6 and 7, and I have a whole list of trades there. And then I already know what I'm going to take for the day. So yeah, it makes it so much easier. It's so much more efficient. You guys can use the screener. The problem with the screener is that like sometimes it's not accurate, right? Because depending on your and the screener is perfectly fine. If you guys want to use a screener, I mean, go ahead and use it. But for me, I only trade for 2 hours, so I don't need to go through all the different setups. If I was trading all day, then okay, great. I'll use a screener because it'll give me the top 10. But for me, I'm only trading for 2 hours, so I only care about what's happening between this time period. And then I'm already ready. So like when I'm going through the list, I'm like already knocking this down. Like I already know I'm going from 11 to 12 to 13. So I'm like very efficient with my time. I'm not waiting for this report to update forever, right? Because sometimes it takes like a couple of seconds. Sometimes it happens right away. It just depends on how fast the algo is running on TradingView. So I'm pretty much knocking it out, boom, 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 and I'm done for the day. And then I'm ready to trade the next morning. Let's see, Rev is asking, so you're running it 120 times for each set of trades. Basically, yeah, in a sense, basically that's how much I'm running it. And it seems like a big number, but like I said, if you have a system in place, it goes by pretty quick because you're doing the same, like I'm doing the same thing every single day. It's like check every single minute. And by doing that, you get a lot of good entries, right? So if you look at my list over here, these are all the entries I was able to identify between that 2 hour period, right? This is a good data set to have because now you have an idea of like what to look for. You're not kind of like guessing or like wondering like, oh, did I miss something? It's impossible for you to miss anything because you went down each candle, right? Like I went down every single minute. So there's no way I missed any trades. These are the only trades that came up between 6 and 7 that have high probability. Yeah, and Solange said seems like 40-20 is actually the most consistent across all entries as well. Yeah, 40-20 or 50-25. Obviously, if the volatility stays super high like how it is right now, see we're currently at 35-40. I don't think this is normal volatility. I think this is just happening for the, couple days where the tariff stuff is coming out. If it becomes the case and this is the normal ATR, then in this situation, you just increase it, right? Instead of 40-20, we'll move to 25-50 or 30-60. But right now, I don't think it's really necessary. I think 40-20 is still good. It's just you have to know when to sit out of the market, right? Like a time like this where the market's moving kind of crazy. This is a time where you just want to sit out and not do anything because it's not worth the risk. Yeah, sitting out of the market is a skill of itself. So, and in order to sit out of the market, you have to like understand how to read the market in general, right? Not price action or technical analysis, but you have to be able to read volatility. Like you have to know that this is irregular, right? Above 35 is irregular, right? Typically, if you've been trading the same asset every single day, you know that the ATR should be lower 30s, higher 20s. Hey, Justin, morning. All right, the next entry again, guys, is coming up here at 711. I'm not looking to take it because it's not one of my target entries. If you guys look at my list of entries here, I put whether it's a target entry for me or not. So if it's a target entry, like for example, if you see target entry here, that means that it's one of the trades that I'm looking to take. If it doesn't have target entry, it's just a trade that I'm looking at and I'm possibly maybe want to take it when it comes up. But I already made my decision last night that it's not one of the entries I'm looking to take. I want to watch it, but I don't want to take it because the probabilities aren't high enough for me. So if you look at the probabilities here at that 7-11 trade, like the probabilities are okay, right? 6111, it's not great, right? I wanted to be above 65. And then looking over here at these cells, it's 69.23. Again, not great, but it's worth taking a look at. And like we talked about earlier, we're basing it pretty much all off the probabilities. We're not really going off technical analysis or market structure. If you guys do want technical analysis and market structure, I still have it marked up here on my main chart. Just because I'm trading based off the data doesn't mean I forgot how to trade or I forgot how to chart or do any of that stuff. I still know how to do everything. It's just not beneficial for me specifically because the way that I see it is I feel like I don't feel like I know it that technical analysis is not really it's not there to help you for the most part. It's there to confuse you, right? That's why like a lot of people aren't really good at trading or they're not consistent because they get confused, right? Like you could have an analysis here for a buy or you can have an analysis here for a sell. And I'll show you a clear example of that. So for example, right now, look at how price is coming down, right? We're in a bearish bias right now with regard to trend, right? Price is trending down. The thing is, there's going to be some people who are looking to take this to the downside, and there's going to be some people like Sam here who's going to try to take this as a liquidity sweep, right? So this is why technical analysis, like in order to be really productive and efficient with technical analysis, you have to have a bias. You can't be looking both ways. You either have to be stuck on sells here or you have to be stuck on buys. The problem with the technical analysis is that like, you can be looking for a sell here but then if you're looking for a sell, you're like, oh, there's liquidity right here or there's structure. So when price gets to this point, you start to get confused, right? And that's what I mean about technical analysis confusing traders. Um, this is why I've kind of moved from technical analysis and price action to quantitative data because the data doesn't lie. It can't confuse you, right? Like if I show you the numbers over here off the data, this can't confuse you. This shows you that obviously this trade has a higher probability of it winning than it losing. It's not going to be 100%, but you do have the numbers here to kind of show you it's clear. Like it's very, very clear. If you win, great. If you lose, that's perfectly fine. You traded the probabilities. But with technical analysis, this here is confusing, right? Because you can be looking for a sell, but then you see, okay, price is at a session high right here. So you're like, okay, do I still take a sell or do I take a buy? Is this going to be a fake out? Is this going to be a continuation, right? There's always going to be two sides to the coin. And the problem with that is that you don't have probabilities on your side. You're kind of just basing it off discretion, right? You're like, oh, price looks like it's dropping, so I think it's going to drop. But then you can argue with someone else that's like, oh no, price is dropping, but it's overextended. So it's actually going to reverse here. See, this is why a lot of retail traders are always arguing. Like they're like, my analysis is better or my analysis is better. With algo trading, your analysis doesn't matter, right? Your opinion doesn't matter because there's science behind why we're looking for a specific direction, right? Everything here is quantitative, so you can't really argue data. The data is going to be right in front of you. It's going to tell you that obviously the sells here are going to make more sense. And if you want to take a sell, great. If you want to take a buy, great. But you're taking a trade that's against probability, right? You could be a contrarian trader, but obviously if I'm going to be taking trades here, I'm going to be going with the data. I'm not going against it. So again, right here, this is the 7-11 entry. It's going to be against momentum. So right here, we have currently a sell momentum. This means that you're going to take a buy here if you want to take this trade. The only problem here is that if you look at the data, the sells are better, right? Let's go over to trade analysis. It shows that only 40% of the buys here actually win. So for me personally, I wouldn't take that bet because the probabilities are not on my side. Right? If you want to take this trade right here, you can take it. I'll mark it up for you guys. But like I said, the probabilities here are not on your side, so you're kind of going against the grain, which is perfectly fine. You can go against the grain, but you have a probability of it losing, of course. You have a higher probability of it losing than for it to win. So you got a 61% chance of it actually going up. So you don't have a 0% chance, but you have a 60% chance of it going up, which is currently going up right now. You have a 38% chance of it going down. Or sorry, no, you have a 61. Actually, I take that back. Sorry. Yeah, that was right. You have a 61% chance of it going up. You have a 38% chance of it going down. So you're not going to be 100%. But then if you look over here on the individual analysis, your probabilities go up even more, right? So like if you're taking a sell here, you have a 69% chance of it winning. If you take a buy here, you have a 40% chance of it winning. So what am I going to go with? I'd rather go with the sell here. That's why if you look at my data, it shows here that I'm only taking it if it's a sell, right? 70-11 against momentum, 61.11% probability overall, 122 risk to reward, 69.23% probability of a sell. It wins 2 out of the 3 recent Thursdays. And then if I was to take this trade, I would be aiming for a sell, right? Everything here is based off the data. I don't go off technical analysis. I don't care if price is trending down, if price is trending up. The data here shows me that these are the numbers that have come up, and this is what I'm going to be looking for, of course. So yeah, that is my take on it, of course. That is my take on that specific entry. It doesn't mean this analysis will be perfectly fine. It's just it shows that these are what the probabilities are. So this trade could very well hit. Let me refresh this real quick. This trade could very well hit. It's just for me, I would want to go with the probabilities, of course, and the probabilities didn't weigh in my favor. Or I mean, the trade didn't weigh in the favor of my probabilities. So the trade's currently running right now. Again, if you wanted to take this trade, it was against momentum. You had basically a 61% probability of it moving that way. I don't know why my cursor here is stuck. I was trying to fix it, but it doesn't seem to stick. Let me just move this. Yeah, I don't know why. My cursor is just, it's stuck right here whenever I click. I try to refresh it, but it's weird. It's only stuck on this chart. Never mind. It's good. All right, guys. So that's the first entry that's currently running right now. I'm gonna step away for 1 second. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hop into the chat and I'll answer whatever question that you guys have. All right, guys, I am back. Let's see. Rev over here said, I definitely prefer going with momentum. Yeah, I agree with you. I definitely agree going with momentum as well because, you don't want to fade the direction of trade, of course. You want to go with the momentum. Um, yeah, a lot of these trades right here are going to be against their reversal patterns. You can see here the algo is currently, it's about to hit. 7-11 was one of the entries we were taking. There you go. See, and this is based off the data. Just like I said, I didn't care about price action. The trend here was bearish. Everyone here is probably looking for that sell. Price did the complete opposite and went right up. The reason why I was able to identify this was because the data here showed me that, it wins 61% of the time. So if you guys wanted to go with the data here, you have more than a 50% probability of it winning in your favor, and it did. So. Let's see. Talanji said, took the pullback. Got it. Nice work, Talanji. Full TP on that. And then Barack said, I like what I'm seeing. LOL. Yeah. So this is what I mean, guys, right? Technical analysis is there to confuse you. Like, it's going to hurt a lot of feelings. Like, I know there's going to be some people in the chat that are going to be kind of pissed off that I mentioned that. And they're going to be even more pissed off that I was right. But technical analysis here, it's there to trick you guys. Like you guys, once you can understand that, like I feel like my thought process just kind of shifted a ton because now going off the quantitative data, I can see this is why institutions and hedge funds and all these big traders, not big traders in general, but just in general, like people don't really base stuff off the charts because the charts are there to confuse you. If you go off the data will literally tell you, you know, it'll literally tell you exactly like what to look for. Because what happened here is my algo pretty much identified this same exact trade. So basically what my algo showed here is that at 7-Eleven every single day for the past 18 trades, basically a whole month, there was a reversal that happened here, right? What I was doing here is I was able to identify where the big players are trading. And you can see over here, this thing faked out a little bit. And then we basically we followed the move that the bigger players are making here. Every day, for some reason, they want to reverse price here at 7-Eleven. And that's exactly what happened. It reversed the price. So let me add this trade to the list here. Another win. The probabilities weren't super high, but again, it's another win there. So another win, plus 2R. It's currently at 3 wins, 1 loss for the day. A total of plus 5R. I'm just looking for one trade here. I'm looking for one more trade that's on my list of target entries. And I'll be looking to get into that there to recoup my loss from earlier. I took a loss here at 6 o'clock. Like I said, the probabilities were on my side, but the trade just didn't play in that direction. I had a 72% probability. I did have a 20 something percent probability of it losing, but I went with my probabilities there. So, the thing is, I've been trading technical analysis and price action for years, guys. I've been trading for 12 years now. So like now that I've been able to understand the quantitative data here, it it's crazy. It just opened up a whole new game. And you guys can see from you guys have seen my trade statistics. Like the stats are there, guys. Like, the numbers don't lie. Been trading this pretty crazy for the past, I don't even know how many days, right? Like 10 days. It's been pretty solid 10 trading days overall. I'll update my trader sync in a little bit. I gotta get the website up for the Kodi Kai Capital. I'll try to get that done this week. But again, the next entry is going to be right here at 721. So we got one more entry right here at 721. It's not one of my target entries, so it's probably not going to be one that I'm looking to take personally, but I will mark it up right here. All right, so let's see, 721. Let's see what the stats look like. These stats are they're a little worse than the previous one. So again, this isn't going to be one that I'm looking to take. Okay, so here we go. 721. It is going to be against momentum. It has a 50% probability of it winning, so it's not very good with overall probability for a 1 to 2 risk reward. The win rate for sells here. So this is the reason why this trade got on my list. So 50% probability, that's not good overall. But if you look over at the trade analysis, it shows that it wins 71.43% of the sells. So basically 5 out of the previous 7 sells won. So that kind of bumped it up. So I was able to put it on my list. It won 1 out of the 3 recent Thursdays. So that's not a good thing. We don't want it to, we want it to win more than it loses. Right here, last Thursday, October 9th, it lost. October 2nd, it lost. And then September 25th, it won. So it won 1 out of the previous 3 trades. And if you do decide to take this trade, obviously you want to go in the direction of probability, which is going to be for a sell. You basically have a 71% probability of it winning. And then you have basically a 29% of it losing. So if you take the sell here and it comes up as a sell, you have a 71% probability of it that it'll probably hit, but it still has probability of it losing. So it's not one of those trades that I'm looking to take. The next one I'm looking to take that will be at 723. So I think that's what I'm going to look for here. Let me go to 723. This is one that I'm likely going to be okay with taking. So we'll follow the 721 trade. It's about to come up, but I'm looking to actually get into the 723, which is a little later. This is going to be pretty interesting because this will be the start of the reversal. So what we're anticipating here is because this is against momentum, I'm expecting a reversal to happen right here. It actually looks pretty good because it looks like price here is starting to consolidate a little bit, and eventually it's going to reverse to the downside. So right here, 721 candle's going to close in about 10 seconds. Again, it has a 50% probability overall, not a great probability, but it does have a 71.43 probability for sells. So if you want to take the trade here, you want to take it for a sell, and it is going to be a sell here. All right, so this trade's currently running. If I want to get in later, I do have opportunity right here at 723 to get in a little later. So again, what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for a reversal to happen for price to swing back down. If the reversal doesn't happen, then I'm probably going to sit out of this. And I'm going to wait until the later entry right here at 751 because that's my next target entry. There goes the reversal I just talked about, right? Price is now reversing down. Again, this is all based off the data. So that 721 trade's currently running right now. We got the 723 trade. What I want to see here is I want to see the reversal actually push down. If it doesn't actually push down, then I'm probably going to hold off on this next one here. So here's my 723 trade. See, this thing is not reversing down. This was supposed to be the start of the reversal, and it's supposed to reverse down further. So because I don't really have a confirmation here of that reversal, I don't think I want to sit in on this 723. I think I'm going to wait until 751 so I can go with momentum instead of against it. This goes back to what Rev said. He doesn't like trading with against momentum. He wants to go with it, and I agree with him. I prefer to go with it than against it. This one over here has better numbers, anyways. So if you guys want to take this here, this is going to be one of my target entries. Again, I don't really like it as much because the probabilities are actually this could be good. See if I can maybe get into this one. I'm going to see how this candle here ends up. All right, I'm gonna get into this one here.
Order submitted.
See if I can get into this one. For some reason, one of the hedge accounts aren't. I don't know if I was able to get into this trade here. I was trying to get into it, but I think there was an error. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, I was trying to get into it, but I got an error here, so I wasn't able to get into this position. Maybe a good thing I didn't get into it. 62. Or maybe it'll fill. For some reason, one of the hedge accounts is giving me errors. It's causing errors across all of my accounts for trying to get into it. Let me see if I can maybe get into this a little later. But there's two entries running alongside each other here, guys. There is a 711 and 735. Okay, so I think it pulled me in last second. So I think now that it's came back down, it's filled me in. It's in profit about 15 points. Let me go over here real quick. Yeah, so it actually pulled me in late. I gotta fix these hedge accounts. I don't think they're approved yet on the regulator side, so I keep getting errors on this one person's hedge account. All right, so the first trade here hit already, the 711. That was a full TP for 40 points. And then we have this one over here, which is running next to it at 723. A lot of chop here back and forth, of course. The next one that's going to be good is going to be 751. So if you didn't get into this one over here, it's completely fine. I mean, there's a couple other target entries here, or just one actually at 751. These other ones here are going to be with momentum. So this is going to be in the direction of the that we were looking for. So the reversal happened here between 711, 723, and then 733 and 735. Price is supposed to continue pushing down lower. So we were looking for the reversal to happen right here, and then continuation down lower as we get closer to the 733 below. But like what Solange said earlier, there's a ton of fake outs happening in the market. So got to keep your risk pretty low on this. So the next entry again is going to be at 751. Let me go over here and put the information. A lot of choppiness here today. Let's see where we're at. I gotta turn off this hedge account. Unfortunately, it's not working and it keeps giving errors. So it looks like it only took the trade on like one account. See this irregular price movement? It like literally spiked up and came right back down. Damn. So I took a loss on one account there, but it's okay. It's just one account. All right, so Ali, I don't know if you're on here right now, but I gotta shut down your hedge account, bro. For some reason, it's not executing. It keeps giving errors across the all of my other accounts. So I gotta shut yours down for today, unfortunately. I'll try to figure it out. I'll talk to Ninja Trader and we'll kind of get that sorted out. But for the most part, it's causing errors on pretty much all of my other accounts. Yeah, I try to run it for you today, bro, but unfortunately, it's just not gonna work out. All right, so next entry over here is gonna be at 751. That is going to be, let's see, Ross is asking, is anyone having problems getting into Apex? Um, are you talking about the website, Ross, or just like adding your Apex account to the oh, the website? Let me see. Let me try to get in on mine. I forgot I have two-step authentication on here. Oh, he just messaged me. I know he's like asking if this is an error. I think I know what the problem is. It's because I don't have a contract with Ollie yet, and I need his power of attorney to trade his account. Let's see. All right, so going over here real quick, let's just go over the oh fuck, I was gonna check that for you, Ross. So let me see real quick. I gotta get my two-step authentication. The website's working though for me, so let me see if I can log in. Yeah, my Apex login is working, it's perfectly fine. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. All right, so looking over here at the entries again, guys, let's go ahead and take a look of the ones that came up. So the 711 trade here did hit. Unfortunately, the 723 here got caught in this spike. So this one here did lose. Let me go over here and put the data in real quick. So the 711 trade did win, and the 723 trade actually lost, unfortunately. It was like like I said, the market here is it's very irregular right now with these spikes, with the volatility. This is why I'm being a little more cautious with my entries for today than usual, because of the like you can see what happened here, right? It gets spiked and it came all the way down to target. If this spike didn't happen, it would have just went straight to target, unfortunately. But that's just, that's how the market is right now. So the 711 trade here hit. Looks like Talonji over here actually he held on to it. So Talanji got in at 711 and then he ran for the full target down here for 723. So he held on to it and it actually spiked down and he made a basically double profit on it. So instead of 40, Talanji locked in 80 points on that. So nice work, Talanji, on holding that there. The next entry coming up, not one that I'm looking to take here specifically, but the next one that's coming up is going to be over here at it's going to be at 733. It's not one that I'm looking to take, but this is going to be one of the trades on my list again. So this is with momentum. This is the win ratio here is going to be very small. It's going to be 50%. So it's not going to be super great, but yeah, if this is something that, you guys are looking to take here, of course, this is what we'll see. But yeah, we'll kind of we'll wait and see how this here ends up playing through. My trade is not going to come up until 7:51, so I got a little bit of a dead period here right now. I'll mark it up for you guys and we'll follow it. The probabilities, let's just pull up the probabilities for that one specifically. I don't really need to pull it up because I have it on here already, but it has a 50% overall probability of it winning for with momentum. Once it's risk to reward, it has a 70% probability of it winning for buys. It won one out of the three recent Thursdays. So if you want to take this trade, you want to aim for a buy, which it is going to be a buy. So this trade does line up. If you are looking to take it, I'll mark it up for you guys. It's not one of my entries that I'm looking to take here specifically because it doesn't meet my criteria. I'm waiting for the 751 entry. This one over here has a 66, basically 67% probability of it winning, 87% probability of it winning for sells. So I'll be looking for a possible sell here at 751. All right, here's the first entry. This candle is going to close in about 20 seconds. If you guys want to take this, feel free, but I'll hold off on this right now. Yeah, this trade just doesn't meet my criteria, so I'm going to hold off on this right now. Let's see, Barack said we agree on irregularity. I mean, it's always irregular, kind of, but today's extra might be on trades till 9 a.m. Yeah, I'll be waiting for it. All right, so here's the trade right there, guys. It's running in profit. This trade was with momentum. Changes with momentum. Yeah, so looking over here at my list, this trade is pushing up right now. It's halfway to its target. This is the 733 entry. So 733, it's with momentum. We had a bullish momentum right here, so it's supposed to be a buy. It has a 50% probability of it hitting, which is not super great, but it is still there. It has a 70% probability of it winning for a buy specifically. So if you look at my notes here, this is why I said if you want to take this trade, you want to aim for a buy if you're taking it. So 733, this trade is currently running right now. A lot of entries came up so far, but you guys can see from the market movement, it's very irregular, right? It's not really moving directional at all. I mean, it is kind of moving bearish, but realistically, it's not really moving bearish. It's kind of just going back and forth like this. Let me see the market structure here. The market structure hasn't changed at all. It's pretty much the same. There's a support level down here, which I can mark up for you guys. So there is a support level right here. Looks like that trade just hit full TP. Almost. So the trade right here at 733, it is about to hit right there, almost on its way to target. And there you go, full TP on that trade. So there's a lot of trades here that are hitting, guys. There's a lot of good trades here that are coming up. 733 again right here. It's a win for a plus 2R. I'm getting a lot of errors on my trades for today and unfortunately getting caught in like a lot of these price spikes. Like we talked about, it's just the market today it's kind of all over the place. All right, guys, so here we go. These are all the trades that we kind of identified for the day. It's actually been a pretty good day. If you took every trade or you took the majority of the trades, it's actually been a pretty good day overall. It's a 6 hour day so far. 4 wins, 2 losses. Unfortunately, I ended up getting caught on those losses. There were good trades though. Like for example, this trade over here spiked up, but it came down to where it's supposed to go. Um, yeah, the 751. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for price to swing back down and then hopefully continue dropping. My target over here is going to be for a sell. So I'm looking to take a sell here. I'm hoping we get a momentum shift back to the downside, and I'll try to ride this down a little lower. The next entry here is going to be at 735. Actually, it's running already. So there's a 735 candle. This thing would have overlapped the 733. So there's a 735 entry, which is currently running long. It's not looking super hot right now because it looks like it got caught. Yeah, I didn't even see that because the other trade was running. You wouldn't want to fade your current trade. Like if you're going for a buy there, you wouldn't want to go against it. Yeah. All right. So with that being said, pretty much everything here is for the most part done. We're now looking for my actual entry, which is going to be here at 751. The problem with this entry is that it's going to be a sell. So we need to have this kind of shift back down. What I'm looking for here is I'm looking for price to reverse from here and then come down lower. If that's the case, we'll have room here for price to actually push down and reach my target. But obviously, I'm looking for a sell here. Let's pull up the data now for 751. This is the next, I guess, basically my last entry for the day, my last opportunity. All right, here's the data for that 751 trade. It has a 66.7 probability of it winning for the trade here, going with momentum. Looking at the trade analysis over here, it has an 50% probability of it winning for a buy, and it has an 87.50% probability of it winning for a sell. So I'm siding with the sell here. Obviously, I want the highest probability of the trade. Um, it won 2 out of the 3 recent Thursdays. So looking over here on October 9th, it lost. That was last Thursday. The Thursday before that, October 2nd, it won. And the Thursday before that, September 25th, it also won. So 2 out of the 3 previous Thursdays, it's won. And we'll see. I mean, it looks like this trade can really work in either direction, but obviously I'd be aiming for a sell here if possible because the sells here look like they work a lot better than the buys. It's not a huge difference though. There's still probability here for buys. The problem here, if you look at the buys, it's pretty much only won 5 out of the previous 10 trades, so it's not very high. For the sells here, it's won 7 out of the 8. So what I want to see here is I want to see a sell momentum come up, and then I want to see this start turning to the downside here. So I can take that for a sell. All right, we'll see what happens here. Let's see. Roosevelt said pass a 100K account in 2 days. Crazy man, you were a wizard. Definitely. Nice work, Roosevelt. I know you just got back, so it's good to see you're back here making profits already. Arik is asking, Sean, do you advise us take all setups, lower the risk, or take all your trades? I get so confused because we count all, but you don't take some of them. I've been in and out, so you might have already covered this. Um, I mean, we kind of cover this every time you ask the question, Art, because you ask this question, I think every time. It's up to you, bro. It's up to you. It's all up to you, Art. You're in control of your account. If you want to take every single entry, you take the entry. If you don't want to take the entry and you only want to stick to the trades with the highest probability, then you stick to those, right? For me, my answer is always going to be the same, right? Because the thing is, I'm doing what I'm doing, right? Which I'm sticking to the highest probability. So it's up to you, Art. You're in control. If you feel you want to take every single entry and you can focus and you can actually take every single entry, then great, do it. But again, it's going to be up to you, right? Do you have the capability to focus for 2 hours? Because you're kind of like doing stuff. I know you're doing we've talked before, and you have like your stuff going on behind the scenes. So I don't know if you can focus for 2 hours. If you can focus for 2 hours, then yeah, great. Take every single entry that comes up. But if you're not able to, then I would just stick to the high probable ones that have target entry listed on them, because those are the ones that typically, will typically play out how they're supposed to. So I mean, it's going to be up with you, all right, if you're able to take every entry or if you're not. All right, so let's see what else we got over here. Um, yeah, Sam said, "Damn that chop." I know the market has been really choppy today, so it's like really hard to really find a proper direction here. Like, let's just go back to our main chart. So this thing is still chopping up, as you guys can see. It's not very consistent. There's actually a head and shoulders pattern right here, it looks like. They just came up. So again, right, so this is what we were talking about earlier. The technical analysis and the price action here is very confusing because it was bearish and then now it's back to bullish. This is a head and shoulders pattern that just came up right here, if you guys can see it. Right. It's a head and shoulders right there. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, continuation to the upside, straight up reversal pattern. So this again is like why it's hard to really look at technical analysis. Well, for me specifically, I've been trading technical analysis for like 12 years now. And I still know how to read technical analysis, but it's really, it's hard to really identify, whether you want to have a bias for a sell or for a buy, because the overall bias over here is kind of mixed. Obviously, it was pretty bearish for a while. So like basically from market open up until maybe like 20 or 30 minutes ago, it was pretty bearish, and then now it's starting to flip back up. Um, yeah, I mean, it's tricky. I think this market today is a lot more trickier than it usually is. For my accounts over here, my accounts are kind of all over the place, guys. So like the first entry here, I took a loss. That was across all of my accounts. Then over here, this other loss that I took, this was only off like one account because I had an error. I've been having errors all day today with one of my hedge clients because I just don't think that I'm approved to trade on his account yet for NinjaTrader. Um, and then we have one more trade coming up over here at 650 or 751. The problem with this trade over here at 751 is that I'm going with momentum and my bias here is for a sell. So if this here doesn't shift down to a sell, then I'm just not going to have a trade here for the day. I'll just have to close this day out with a loss for this session, unfortunately. But I'm hoping this comes up. So I'm looking for a sell signal here to come up. If the sell signal doesn't come up though, I'm not going to have a trade here at 751. If you guys want to take it, you can still take it, but my bias that I decided on last night was for a sell. The reason for that is because the probabilities here are very high for a sell. Probabilities for a buy are okay, but they're not very high. It's 50%. Versus a sell here is going to be 87.50. So we'll uh we'll see what goes on here. Brock said, now I'm comfortable holding with a trail. Thank you, Sean team. Yeah, definitely, Brock. Glad to see they're holding on to that there and it's running through. I just need one win there today. So I need a win today to recoup my loss and then make a profit on top of it. But we have to wait for that here. So we'll see here if that's the case. I'm hoping that becomes the case. We haven't had a red day in a while. The only time we have a red day is if we only have one trade. Technically today, that was kind of what happened, right? We only had one trade today, which is at 6. This one over here was or this trade here, it basically spiked up and then it was only taken on one account, which was the main account that's taking the trades. Basically, my copier just didn't work on this next one or the second trade because there's one account that was triggering the error. All right, looks like price is coming back down again. I'm looking for a sell signal here. If we get that sell signal, I'm going to be looking to ride this back down further because my bias for today or for that 751 trade is going to be for a sell. So again, I'm not using technical analysis here at all. I'm using the quantitative data. Quantitative data here indicates that at 751, so let me just highlight it again. This trade at 751 has a probability of 66.67 winning if you ride it with momentum. It's for a 1 to 2 risk reward. It's a target entry that I identified last night. It has an 87.50% probability of it winning for a sell. 50% probability of it winning for a buy. It won 2 out of the 3 recent Thursdays, and I'm aiming for a sell. So I need to get a sell signal here before I can even look to take that because I'm going with momentum. So we got price coming back down right here. Barack said, "Oh my, you know the feeling when you're on a buy, but Sean analyzes a sell." Yeah, I know. It's well, we have this whole area here for price to come back down to. So if this does come up for a sell here, I mean, we'll see how it plays out. I do need the sell signal here to close though. So the sell signal there did not close yet. I need the signal to close. Once the signal closes, I can start looking for opportunity for entry. The ATR here has kind of died down a little bit, so it's a good sign. It's not like died down that much, but it's come down a little bit. So basically, just waiting for this here to confirm. I need to confirm that sell momentum before I can even look for a sell. All right, we got the sell signal right there. So the trade here is going to be setting up for a sell for at 751. I'll be looking to take it. We got a couple minutes here. It's not time yet, but we are building up to that sell entry. All right, so we will see what happens here. Market structure here. We have an imbalance right here. Price basically is breaking, retesting the imbalance. All right, so this is my last trade for the day. As long as we don't get a buy signal here, this gets set up for possible entry. This is a break and retest off the imbalance if you guys are looking at the technicals here. So we have an imbalance right here. Price looks like it's breaking, retesting, and continuation down lower. We got this whole space here for price to push down to, so we have opportunity. 749 right now. Yeah, we still got some time. So price here might just consolidate for a bit, and then I'm expecting it to come back down further, hopefully. All right, 750 right now. We got 1 more minute till 751. I'll be looking to get this here for a sell, guys. As long as we don't get a buy signal here, this is going to be a good to go trade for a sell. So I'm hoping this one hits. If this one hits, great. It's going to recoup my loss for the day and then profit on top. So it's kind of what I'm aiming for right now. If it doesn't win, that's fine. We're going with probabilities here. Probabilities do indicate for a sell. Here's the bad part. So see this candle? It's freaking huge. I don't want to see a big candle like this because when you see a big candle like that, it's going to have to maybe retrace a little bit. But again, we're going off the probability, so I don't care about that. But it's not going to be on this one anyways. We have one more candle after this. One more candle. I'm just hoping the next candle isn't huge because then that's going to throw me off because my my stop loss isn't very wide. All right. So if it pulls back at all, it's gonna put me in a tough position. All right, we got 40 seconds left on this candle. I'll be waiting for it here to close, and I'll get into this for a sell. Again, I'm doing a 1 to 2, so this is basically 1R. It's going to be considered just one full entry of risk. Candle's closing about 25 seconds. Let's see. You got 15 seconds till the candle close. 10 seconds. Candle is closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. There we go. Price is running. So I'm gonna make sure everything here is proper. The stop is at 63. Drop that by 1 point. Target is at 0.3. Drop that by 1 point. Okay. So trade's currently running right now. It's letting the trade do what it needs to do, not touching it at all, letting the trade run, and yeah, just gonna let it go. So here's the trade for right now, guys. It's at 751. Again, looking at the criteria here, it has a 67% probability of it winning for a sell, or 67 probability of it winning just in general overall. For a sell here, it has an 88% probability. So probabilities are on our side here. You know, whether this trade wins or whether it loses, we're trading with probability here. So I don't care about technical analysis or any of that stuff. We're just trading off the data. So whether it wins or whether it loses, we know that we took the proper trade here because the probabilities are in our favor. So in profit about 23 points right now. Let's go to my main chart. I'm in profit 760 at the moment, 840. It's on its way down. So I'm in profit about 20 points or so. And again, I'm just letting the trade run. Like again, I don't care if there is a session right here. I'm just letting the trade kind of do what it needs to do. I'm hoping that it breaks past the session right there and comes even lower. Where's the opening price at? Okay, opening price is kind of far up, so we're a ways away from it. Opening price is going to make much of a impact on our trade here. So I'm in profit about almost 1,000 right there. It keeps shifting a little bit. We're currently at the session. So again, like I said, I'm hoping that this here just like blasts right through the sessions and then it just keeps dumping further. But again, we're basing it off the data. I don't care about the technicals here. I don't care about price action. I'm just letting the trade do what it needs to do. The data here shows that it typically runs for a sell. You know, 88% of the time the sells here do play out for 40 points. So like I said, you know, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. But if you base it off the data and off the probabilities, you don't have anything to worry about, right? If the trade goes against you, that's fine. It shows that in the past, it doesn't, right? It typically goes for you. So you got to understand that there's always going to be a probability of the trade losing, even though you have a high probability of it winning. So I have an 88% prob. Let's just do the math real quick. So my probability here is 88, or what is it? 87.50 minus 100. So I have a probability of this going down 88% or 87.50, and we have a probability of it going up 12.5. So if I'm going to take my odds here, I'm going to go with the 87 versus the 12.5, right? We are getting closer to 8 o'clock, so the volatility here is starting to die down a little bit. The ATR is kind of low. It's at 29. Like I said, I'm doing this for a 1 to 2 risk to reward. So if I have 2 losses for the day, which, you know, might be the case today, this is technically going to add up to just 1 loss because I'm doing a 1 to 2 risk reward. So it'd be considered a 2R. And that's because the 6 a.m. the trade's copied. For the 7:23, it didn't copy. So we'll see what happens here. You know, again, whatever happens, happens. And we'll keep going on. Overall, this month's been pretty great, though. So I don't care what happens with this trade. And to stop me out, just as I said that. Okay, so today, unfortunately, is a red day for me. I had 2 losses, so that's going to be a 2R loss for me today. So let's go over here real quick to the data. And unfortunately, today just wasn't my day. I'm going to go ahead and add I'm gonna go and add the trader sync so you guys can see. I think today my loss is basically two trades, so it's gonna be around like 30, I think. Yeah, it'll be around there. And I wouldn't be surprised if this thing ends up coming all the way down. I'm gonna be kind of pissed if it does. Honestly, it looks like this is what happened to me pretty much twice today already. It came up, spiked me out, and then it comes all the way down. It's the same thing that happened over here. But like I said, we're basing our trades off the data here. So overall, the month's been pretty amazing. And I'm gonna go and update my trader sync now as we speak. So let's see. Here, I'll leave this up over here real quick. Yeah, I mean today was a bit of an irregular day anyway, so what happened a lot is we just end up getting caught up in a lot of these kind of fake out spikes. The data doesn't, I mean, it counts for the fake out spikes, but it doesn't account for like you can't really predict when the days are like that are going to happen. So on the days that it does happen, you just kind of have to roll with it. So let me go over here real quick. I'm going to go and update this. My trader sync usually takes a little while for it to update. So give it some time. It's always weird to see like days like this though, because we've had such a good month so far that yeah, whenever we have a day like this, it kind of throws us off a little bit. All right. But overall, so here are the overall stats for the day. If you took every trade, basically there was about four wins, three losses, total 5R right now. And look where price is going. It's coming all the way back down. Such an unlucky day. Because this happened twice. It doesn't usually happen this way, but it's just one of those days where like we got caught on the wrong side of, or not really the wrong side, really the wrong time of entry. Because if you look at the other entries over here, so this is the one that I lost earlier. It was at 723. The one at 711, if we took the earlier one, it would have won. The second one over here was like it just spiked out and then it came down. Same with this one over here. I mean, there was no earlier entry, but it looks like it just spiked out. Now it's coming back down. And the thing that I really hate about TraderSync is that it always, well, this is what I've been starting to notice lately. It's been like double booking trades here, which it's not supposed to. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing comes all the way down to where it's supposed to. Or I'm trying to update my TraderSync, but this thing is becoming a little more work than I hoped for. Gotta log into my accounts. Damn, today would have been the day where I would have hit the 1 mil if we had two wins. Go figure. Every time I get close to that goal, it always just kind of comes and screws me. Um, it's all good though. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you the current stats right now for my TraderSync. It's updating in the background, so it's gonna update in a few. But here are my stats for the TraderSync. I'll just give you guys an estimate of my losses for the day. So basically, what we have over here is we have like these are our stats for October so far. It's been pretty great. So pretty much from the 29th till the 30th, we had a pretty nice win streak, Green Day wise. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, basically green winning days. Today I have a loss. This is going to be red once it updates. It's going to be about I think the loss is going to be about it's going to be about like 30 or 40, somewhere around there. But overall, I'm still in profit for the week. Um, Yeah, I mean, I'm still in profit for the week, so it's not really going to be a huge deal. And hopefully tomorrow we'll have a couple wins to pretty much recoup that back up. But it's updating right now, and when it updates, we'll be able to see where it's currently at. Yeah, Sam said bad luck, bro. Just the chop, not solid momentum. Yeah, because usually the trades just go straight to target, right? But what's been happening lately is that we get wicked out. Yeah, same with Maxwell over here too. So Maxwell over here said basically took the same trade on NQ with different analysis, but got wicked out just like yours. Yeah, it's just a choppy market, unfortunately. You know, days like that, it's just you either got to go with the trade or you have to just sit out the market. Unfortunately, like unfortunately, like the only trades that I decided to take today are the ones that ended up getting wicked out. Everything else hit though. So let's go back to our charts over here real quick. Yeah, because if you look at the stats over here, look at all the trades. So there's a lot of trades here which came up. The like literally the only trades that I chose today are the ones that lost, and they were the only ones that got wicked out. Everything else hit. So like this one at 637 or 637. This one went straight to target with like little to no drawdown. This one over here at 654, little to no drawdown. It just like every time I decided to take the entry, it was like the time where market was getting heavily manipulated, and then I ended up getting spiked out. So obviously right here, the spike out, and then it went straight to target. And then same with this one over here, spike out, and it came right back down. Initially, it looked good though. So if you look at the entry that we took here, there was no drawdown initially. And it came down about, yeah, it came down about like almost 30 points. So we were about 10 points away from our target. And then it ended up just reversing up and then coming back down. But if you look at where price is at right now, it's just chopping back and forth. So I'm hoping tomorrow's going to be less choppy. But it doesn't matter. Either way, I'm going to be pulling my data. So again, doesn't matter what the price action is looking like or like whatever's happening behind the scenes. I'm still going to take my trades based off the price action, or not the price action, based off the data. But all right, my trader thing is updating again. So here are my stats so far for the month. This is going to be a red day, of course. We've only had two red days for the whole month of October. So the whole month of October has been pretty amazing. Um, Here are my overall stats with regard to profits for I'm getting really close to that 1 mil. This is going to drop down a little bit because of the loss from today. So I'm going to be at maybe like 930 or maybe 940, somewhere around there, or maybe 920. But I got really close here to get to that 1 mil. I just needed one good trading day today and it would have been, I would have reached that threshold. But it's okay. We still have a couple months left. So we had a couple of good days over here that may come up for October. I'm hoping that becomes the case. And then if that's the case right there, I'll hopefully make this 1 mil goal by the end of the month. So that was our goal from the beginning of the year. So we started at zero here and we built up from zero almost to 1 million for the year. Every trade here was documented live. So you guys, if you ever want to go back and see what we did earlier this year, you can. Um, but yeah, I'm hoping, I'm hoping by the end of the month we can reach that goal and reach that goal, of course. But okay, so let's see the charts real quick. Yeah, as you guys can see, the market here is still very choppy. There's not really much of a direction. We've had a lot of chop here from the top, chop from the bottom, chop from the top, chop from the bottom. This isn't like how it was yesterday, right? Yesterday was a little bit of a smoother move to the upside and to the downside. Today we just have a lot of chop. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to hop into the chat. I'll answer whatever questions we have here, and then I'm gonna log off for the day. I'm just waiting for my trader sync to finish updating so that I can show you guys. I'm really curious what my losses look like for the day. Yeah, I'm curious to see. Okay, so it's actually, well, it's still updating, but I'm curious to see where it ends up. Let's see. So RH over here mentioned, same with ES, very wicky. He got wicked out before full TP. I'm up 84. Nice. RH, yeah. It seems like it's wiki for like pretty much all the assets. Let's take a look at the charts real quick. So obviously you can see here it's a mess on YM for today. Very choppy back and forth. Let's go check out NQ. Yeah, it looks like the whole market in general was like pretty choppy today. If you look at NQ right here, very choppy back and forth. It pushed up a little bit, but it went back into chop. And then taking a look at ES today, yeah, it's been choppy everywhere it looks like. Choppy right here for ES, choppy for YM, choppy for NQ. Let's see gold. Gold is actually moving a lot smoother compared to the other. I mean, still choppy right here, but it looks like it's moving a little bit smoother. Let's go back to YM. Yeah, it's a chop up today, as you guys can see. So market opened up right here at 6:30. I'll just put a line right here so you can see. Market opened up right there, and right here basically chopped back and forth the entire day. So, okay, so with this being the case, moving forward, maybe in the future, I might like if the day's obviously choppy, maybe I'll just sit out because we are trading off momentum. But I mean, we'll take it day by day. Either way, this whole month has been pretty good, so I don't really feel the need to. There's no drastic changes that need to be made. Like we don't have to stop trading certain days because it's choppy. Because overall, I mean, it looks like we're still pretty good for the most part. All right, I'm just waiting for my trader sync to update. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. I'm just really curious to see what my totals are for the day. Yeah, Sam said you get it tomorrow, bro. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I'm gonna keep going off how I've been trading. And then if we have a good day tomorrow and so tomorrow I really just need one win. So I have one win tomorrow. It's gonna recoup the losses from today. So we'll be back in a profit. If I have two wins tomorrow, it's gonna recoup profits plus it's gonna make recoup losses plus it's gonna make profit on top. So, like I said, we're doing a 1 to 2 risk to reward. I've only had two trades that were copied across my accounts. The losses might be a little heavier on one or the other, but for the most part, it's not going to be a make or break for my account, of course. So price here is still kind of chopping. All right, Trader Sync looks like it's almost done. Just regrouping my orders. Not quite. So I'm looking at my Trader Sync right now. It's looking like I lost about like 30K for the day. Not a huge, huge loss, but yeah, I mean, ideally, of course, I would like it to not be that bad, but I basically lost my profits from like Tuesday for the most part. But I'm still in profit for the week, so it's not a huge deal. In profit for the week, okay, here we are. So it is finally updated. Let me just go and organize this real quick so that you guys can see. And I just want to be transparent with you guys, right? Because you're not going to have perfect days every single day. And I want you guys to understand that, like, you guys got to be okay with taking red days. And as long as your risk reward is fine and you're not over trading or revenge trading, you guys will be perfectly fine. There's going to be another day to make the profits back. So you don't have to stress out over it. I see a lot of people, you guys will get stressed out after like one loss and then you end up taking a bunch of dumb trades and you're like, and then at that point, you've pretty much dug yourself a super, super deep hole, and it's hard to get out of. So let me see. Put my stats year to date. Let's make sure the calendar. See, I don't know why it does this. Let me just update this again real quick. For some reason, it double logs trades, and it's honestly super annoying because I have to always go back and revert back to the previous data, and it's just a lot of work sometimes. Because you have to go back and you're like, okay, where did this trade double up? Which ones have to be adjusted? Okay, year to date. All right, let's see. It looks good. Looks good. Another one over here real quick. Like, I don't know how these get mislogged. Yeah, price pushing up super heavy right now. I don't have any trades logged for 8 o'clock, so I don't know what's necessarily good at this time. Okay, I think my trader sync is good now. Let me just make sure everything here is lined up, everything is proper. Um, yeah, I think we're good now. Let me just refresh this to make sure everything, yeah, it looks good. Okay, let me drag this over real quick. Okay, here are my stats for the for the week. So today I took two trades which lost that were copied. So you can see over here, you can see there's 80 trades there that were taken. I just want to be completely transparent with you guys so that you guys can understand that there's gonna be days like this, right? And you have to be okay with taking the losses as long as you stick to your trading plan. So for October over here, again, we had a winning day on Monday and on Tuesday here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 green days, and then 2 red days for the month. So overall, we're doing pretty good. My profits for the week so far, unfortunately, since I took the loss today, I kind of threw away my profits from Tuesday, which is completely fine. Like I said, because I'm using proper risk to reward, I'm still in profit for the week, but I just need to have a win tomorrow. If I have a win tomorrow, it's going to recoup. So basically, if I just have one trade, right, I'm going to make about 34,000. If I do that, it's going to recoup most of this loss. And then if I have two trades that win tomorrow, I'm going to have recouped loss plus profit on top of it. Um, and that's the beauty of having a 1 to 2 risk reward. So these are my total profits for the year so far. We're still doing great. Currently at 317,770 in profit for the week so far. I'm currently still up in profit, 14,780. And then for the year so far, let's go to overview. I'm currently up at 933,425. So we were really close to that 1 million mark. Unfortunately, we did not get to that 1 million today. We have a couple more, well, we have a pretty good amount of days in October. So hopefully by the end of the month, I'll reach that goal. But you guys can see here, these are my stats from January 2nd up until today. We started at 0 and we're up to this much. So it's looking great. I mean, overall, it's looking great. I just got to keep up the consistency. I got to stick to my trading plan. And you guys can see I kept my losses pretty small here, right? $300 losses, nothing too big. So nothing to like really make or break my account. Um, and that's the key thing about using proper risk to reward and proper risk management, right? Don't blow your account on one trade. Use proper risk and be able to survive these types of markets where markets super choppy. So, all right, let's see what else we got over here. I know, Chris. Horrible. Horrible. Let's see. So, Cern said gold is good. Yeah, yeah, no, gold's been pretty solid overall. I mean, I try to trade gold, but it's hard for me to balance between gold and YM because of the asset risk and whatnot. But yeah, for the most part, gold is for the most part pretty good. But other than that, guys, I think this might be it. So it looks like Sam over here caught the re break and retest plus the MPS V2. Nice work on that. And I think that's about it. So overall, here are the trades for the day, guys. If you guys followed all of the algo entries. So for the day, we had a loss at 6 a.m., a win at 6:37. And I'll take a screenshot of this actually. This is gonna post it up in the chat so that you guys can see it. It's good to have this data there so that you guys can see what entries came up. But yeah, basically for the day, 6 a.m. loss, 6:37 win, 6:51 win, 6:11 win, 6:23 loss, 6:20, 6:33 win, and 6:51 loss. Unfortunately, market was super choppy today, so there were a lot of entries here. Not a lot of them were on point, but overall, pretty good probabilities over here across the board with the algo entries. Let me go and put that over here real quick in the official trades so that you guys can have an idea. And what I'm gonna do here too is I'm gonna screenshot my trader sync so that you guys can have the totals here as well. It's just easier to do that than to do the individual accounts because there's too many individual accounts there. Performance, calendar. All right, got that there. Let me go to my overview. All right, so let me copy this over. I mean, overall, it's looking good, so there's nothing to complain about for me here. No complaints on my end. Okay, so here are the trades for today. And let me just copy this over real quick. So 6 a.m. right there, 6:37, 6:51. I'm just changing the numbers here basically. Uh, 6, 7. This is at 7:11, 6:23, 6, 7:33, and so there's a lot of entries which came up today. So I'll put this right here. There's all the trades that came up, and then here are my stats for the month and for the year. So here are my stats for October. Not too bad. I basically threw away my profits from Tuesday. Still in profit for the week. And then here are my stats for the year so far. So not horrible. I mean, I'm doing okay overall. Today was just one of those days where, got caught in the chop and unfortunately just had to eat those losses. So yeah, Yellow over here said if the algo setup had prompted a buy around there, would have taken it full blast. Yeah, Sam said, yeah, it's a chop and ATR is high, so algo might have been good with a bigger stop loss. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Right now, I think right now, the market conditions, this is temporary. Right? We're gonna have this temporary chop, temporary high volatility early on in the session, and then as market starts to kind of smoothen out, obviously it's going to either come back down or stay high. So I'll keep running the algo. I'm going to keep it at 40-20 right now. If I need to increase it to like 50-25 or 60-30, I'll do that. But right now, I think we're perfectly fine with where we're currently at 40-20. But all right, guys, if you guys want to see the trades for today, I pretty much posted them all here. So this is a screenshot of all the entries which came up today with regard to the algo list. These are the list of the entries. We had 4 wins, 3 losses. Total profitability is 5R for the day. And these are my stats for the day. I took two of the trades. Unfortunately, took a loss here. You can see I took 80 trades total, 40 trades with the 2 trades that came up, and then my overall stats. So, all right, guys. Unfortunately, today was one of those days where we got caught in a unusual, irregular market movement, and yeah, it was just a little choppy. So we'll come back tomorrow fresh. Well, hopefully tomorrow we can take a win. So again, looking at the stats over here, if I take a win tomorrow, it's going to recoup pretty much all the losses from today, just 1 win. And then if I have 2 wins, it's going to recoup the loss, plus it's going to make profit on top. So I'm hoping that's the case tomorrow. If it's not, then it's completely fine. We're still trading based off the data here, and we're not going to be taking anything that's points to the opposite. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. You guys can hit me up on Discord. If you guys are interested in participating in the hedge fund, again, the hedge fund is now active, guys. You can see over here from the NFA website, the hedge fund Kodi Kai Capital is now approved. And then I'm now an associate person, and I'm also considered a commodity trading advisor. So I fall under the professional trader status now. So if you guys want to join, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys here tomorrow.